Hey, it's Daddy Steve, and it is Thursday, 13th of September. I am feeling slightly better. I've managed to develop a cough as well as the cold, but the cold's kind of on the way down, I think. And my ears are hurting me. I just want to try and sleep it off and be well again. It's Thursday, for goodness sake. The weekend is not that far away. I don't want to miss all that kind of stuff. But anyway, look at this limited sale. If you look to the bottom left, stock zero. Not surprised. Twilight Ronin 10 shards. Wow, I think every spender I know would have spent to the max, which I guess is 5 per person, in order to get, 50 Twilight Ronin shards. Wow. And human meld 5, Paragon, stuff like that. Omni-Essence. Everything else is a bonus. They'd spend it for the Twilight Ronin. I wonder if they would have still spent the same if that was 5 shards, or if 5 shards is, that little bit insulting maybe. I don't know anyway, but interesting. So, I was just planning to do a little bit of deck duels, and I've been keeping talking about, I was going to talk about what me and my boys do when we go out. These days, one by one, my boys are all settling down. They're growing up. They're leaving the nest, man. They're leaving the nest for some damn woman. No, I'm joking. It's all good. It's all good. But anyway, there's like a few soldiers left, right? Me and this other dude, who shall remain nameless. But anyway, so I feel I'm slightly older than this guy, so I'm having to school him on the basics. So one of those basics is, okay, so you meet a girl for the first time. Oh, basically in this battle, it's me versus Predator. Of course we're going to win, right? I don't know how it is in any other country, but I'm guessing it's more or less the same. When you meet a girl for the first time, you really are, it's all kind of going back to the old school, you know what I mean? Now, some things change and some things stay the same. Ladies want to be treated like a woman of 2018. But the word is treated. They still like to be treated. Basically, they pick and choose what they want. Going back to my friends, so you just met somebody for the first time, whether it's online or, in some random bar or something like that. We all live in London, right? So, say you're from one part of London, just say for the sake of argument, East London. And that chick lives on the other side of London, which is like an hour commute. You know what I mean? One way or another. For that first date, I was trying to break down to you, there's a couple of things that you've got to do. See, I'm sharing with you guys as well. Don't make the mistakes that this brother right here was making. And he's the kind of brother that still make the same mistakes again and again and again. You can't teach some brothers. I'm going to try and share my knowledge with you. Right, so you're meeting somebody for the first time, or first date, first time, first date. Or, if you're meeting for the 10 minutes in a bar, and then you've actually gone to call them, they've actually agreed to meet with you. That's what I'm talking about. A girl is not going to, in this country anyway, the UK, a girl is not going to inconvenience herself to go to the other side of London, aka near to where you live, which has got its own connotations, on a first date. She just ain't gonna do it. No girl's gonna inconvenience herself like that. At best, you've got to go to some kind of middle ground, because in the back of her mind, she doesn't want to be out with some pea-taker who can't even be bothered to meet in the middle ground, or it's going to be in the zone of middle ground or somewhere in the proximity to where she lives, because she doesn't want to inconvenience herself. So that's number one mistake he made. There's no way she was ever going to commute, so he kept on doing the same thing, just suggesting local events or local things they could go to, just so we could just get there easy. And what the hell's going on here? Oh no, it's not the spinning wheel of death, is it? And then they would always cancel, always cancel. You know what I mean? So don't follow his mistakes. Well, what have we got here? I beat a Druidess yesterday. Unholy, enmity, and holy is going to be the thing that annoys me, I think. Let's do a little bit. Basically, I need to control their rage before they play a card, and that cannot change. So that's going to directly influence what cards I have to play, let alone what cards I want to play. I don't know what this is going to do, the Abyss Walker. I have to play these cards. Another helpful tip I was trying to say to him is like, listen, in order to get it, because he's on this problem, he's an attractive guy, but he has this problem like kind of getting past the first meeting to actually have a first date. What he needs to do, and what I advise of all young men out there, at some point you have to have a conversation with a girl to find out what she likes, right? You got to actually be bothered enough to have that conversation. Oh, is it going to freeze me? That's fine. Bothered enough to have that conversation, so ask what she likes to do, right? And then suggest something that she's already said that she likes to do. Don't just suggest stuff that he wants to do, because all he's bothered about is the typical male brain things, right? He wants to try, you know, is leg over, leg over, leg over, leg over, leg over, leg over. If you know what song I'm singing, you get extra credit for that. But, you know, that can happen. Oh, dodge rune, lovely. Wow. Shizzle. Oh, we ain't gonna win this one. Oh, we ain't gonna win nothing. We ain't gonna win nothing at all. Right, so you suggested things that she likes. You've asked her what she likes to do. Then what you suggest, now this is the genius part, you suggest something to do on a first date, which is something what she's already said that she wants to do. So, all my mate is bothered about is, listen, he doesn't want to spend too much money. You know what I mean? He's one of these guys, if you believe what he said, he earns a whole lot of money, like kind of footballer salary, right? That's what he says anyway. But he doesn't want to spend sexy Jojo. Oh, you sexy Jojo, you again? Yes, you are yo. Oh, you. But he doesn't want to spend, you know, a dime, more than say, well, he doesn't want to spend anything really. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's got to be an element, before I get to the main point I was going to make before, there's got to be an element of write-off. You're going to write off that cash. Right, I'm not saying go crazy, but on the first date, you know what, if you want to see her again, then you've got to pay. That's basically, unless you're above a certain age and you're talking about McDonald's or something silly, then the first date, probably the first 3-4 dates, you're going to have to pay, really. You're going to have to pay. So really, okay, so going back to, you know, that's that. But you don't take it to anywhere which is like Gordon Ramsay's restaurant or something like that if you don't really want to pay too much. You're in control about where you go. And if she's suggesting Gordon Ramsay, she keeps going on about it, then she doesn't want to be with you. She just wants to be treated. Get the hell out of there, red flag. Oh, predator again. So anyway, so say she wants to go to some, I don't know, Turkish, right? Assuming that you like Turkish food, then that's where you suggest to go for your first date. Or what he should do, you know what I mean? Or say if you don't really like Turkish, oh, do you like anywhere else? I don't know, I don't really mind, never had Peruvian. Okay, yeah, I never had Peruvian too. That's something that you're willing to eat. Maybe you know some restaurant that's reasonably priced, if price is your kind of key thing. You know what I mean? But either way, there's no point just, even, I don't know what else he does, really, which could potentially destroy his chances here. Because he's one of these guys that say just male brain, he doesn't really kind of think about the other side. But there's a way to handle things where even if he had have suggested Peruvian, because he hasn't given her any choice in the matter, then that's probably going to equal and not turning up at all. Especially if he suggested Peruvian on the other side of London, or you know, on a considerable distance travel for this woman to kind of invest in on the first date. And another thing that he does is he's very sexually suggestive early on. That's his banter, you know. That's another problem. He's kind of like a banter type man, and that's quite exhausting. I'm trying to say to him, there's nothing wrong with banter. We can't be all about banter because nobody's 100% funny. And if you're trying to get to know somebody new, then it's about you and her as personalities, right? And there's going to be a bit of banter, but it's not all banter. And banter is going to be down the lines of BS, just to try and be funny. Whereas, you know, you got to talk like you got a bit of sense about you. So, okay. To summarise, yeah, he just needs to meet them, just be himself, and if they don't accept him as himself, that's fine. He needs to engage with them and show some interest in what they want to do, suggest something that he's prepared to do along the lines of what they want to do, and that's that. Don't be too sexually suggestive, because it's just a bit sleazy for a start. I'm going to go into the master, I don't want to say master player, but you know, really, that's what I'm talking about. The way that you interact with somebody, you know, you meet somebody, you gotta say that she's attractive, you know what I mean? So of course she is, because otherwise you wouldn't have chatted her up in the first place. And contact has to be a little bit tactile. You don't just meet somebody and neck them like in the first 2 seconds. You know, if she's above the age of about like 24. So yeah, you can have a bit like it's a grey area. But there's a way to kind of establish some kind of, some dating tips with Daddy Steve, man, I just realised. You can establish a little bit of kind of intimacy, because listen, there's no straight guy, there's no normal guy out there who isn't about the intimacy, you know what I mean? Who doesn't want to take it there at some point, surely. But the relationship, at whatever stage it is, can't just be all about that from the get-go. And there's just subtle ways about trying to get to that point without just making it explicit. Yeah, just, I don't know, just give her a good hug. Just give her a hug when you see her. Not a long hug. You're not trying to feel her boobs up while you're doing it as well. Just a hug, kiss. You might want to hold hands a little bit, or just offer your arms. Just do something like traditional. Just, you know, just give a good eye contact and smile during the date and things like that. Don't have an extra long first date. Just keep it breezy, you know what I mean? Just give her something that she can look forward to on the next date. Don't just give her the whole kind of War and Peace version of a date. I'd say an hour and a half, maximum 2 hours. And then wrap it up and say, you know, you had a really good date if you have, and then check that she's got home okay, and she'll be looking forward to seeing you again, and hopefully you're looking forward to seeing her again. Don't turn it into the mission or mission. Am I going to win this one? I think he's got his 2 spirit painters, and they are very effectively controlling my rage. I think that's yeah, S revived Dulan. In all honesty though, oh wow, we're going to lose. There's no one right answer. But there's this kind of things you learn as you get older, and everything is point of view. You know what I mean? Everything's point of view. If somebody's into you, then they will give you a lot more leeway. But when somebody doesn't know you, then you can repeat mistakes and not get anywhere. And I'm concerned for the youth of tomorrow, man. I'm concerned for the youth of tomorrow. Joking. So anyway, that's the catch-up. That's the catch-up. Now, he's been dating online lately, right? Otherwise known as, he's been doing his fair share of online dating. And I haven't... No, right, so we're not going to win. I've been with this chick that I've been dating, and he's been with this other chick. There's a bit of complication to the chick I was dating. I am dating, sorry. That I can't get into. maybe on another day. But you know, I mean, I'm still there to do some wingman duties, but that doesn't mean I cross any kind of major lines or anything like that. Yeah, cause there's a recent story about that same dude where he ended, he met this girl, and I just did the wingman duty. I wasn't interested in their friend, and obviously I'm dating anyway. And they just seem to. I'm like, where's like, so they've walked off and they're kind of sitting in front of us and they're having a conversation, and I'm talking to her, just keeping her friend busy, talking to her really, you know, like behind, but out of earshot. And then next thing you know, my boy is talking to some next girl. So they're sitting down in front of us, right? The girl that he was talking to is to his right, and then like 20 minutes later, he's talking to some next girl to his left. And the initial girl that he was talking to was on her phone, aka the friend of the girl who I'm talking to, for him. So it's like, what the hell has gone on here? What was that? Voodoo keeping. Yeah, so it turns out that he was, he wasn't insulting her, but he was like generalizing her, you know what I mean? And I don't know, I was going to say, Requiem didn't fire. And she didn't like to be generalized or pigeonholed. There's a long story short. And she set him up with this next girl. And to be honest, I think that he kind of pigeonholed her as well, because he likes, let's just say, exotic girls. And he's not, he's European, right? So, and I think the way he goes about talking to these girls is not making them feel unique and special, but just saying, yeah, I'm just more or less, I'm just chatting to you because you're from blah blah ethnic background. And I don't think that is a winning formula either, to be honest. But yeah, so he's a guy who's got the potential to reach far, but just making these kind of elementary mistakes. And I think also with him, since we're talking about him and talking all his business, I think he kind of, I think there's a stage in every man's life where you kind of, your game kind of transitions. So for most of the time, you know, you've gone to school, you understand the school game for like really young girls, you know what I mean, how to chat them up, and then you get a little bit older, you realise you can't do the same game on somebody's in their 20s, right? So you change it up. At some point you change up the game. And I think he's at the stage where he's got the chat up of a man in his very early 20s. But he can't talk to, like, because he's a professional guy, but he can't talk to professional women. He just doesn't know how, other than that early 20s game. And they just see right through it, because they're not stupid. Not to say early 20s people are, but you know, there's a maturity level. He just doesn't have it, so he just kind of just the same old school game, or young man's game on older women who are not even that old, until like late 20s. That he's going for, but you know, just old enough. That's the situation. Right, so let's try and get a win. Let's try and get that win. Let's go Wraith. Aquarius. Queen Ortiola. Wraith. Spirit. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen him for a couple of weeks. I'll see what he's up to in the week. We always have laughs so when we go out, man, you know what I'm saying? And he's one of these guys as well, you know, if he wants to go out, he's like, oh yeah, let's go out, because obviously, as I said at the start, all my boys have kind of got to the stage where they settle down. But he's one of these guys, the second that he meets somebody that he's interested in, he wants to go home. Yeah, he's the driver, and it's like, geezer, we just got out. For goodness sake, I want to bother to get ready necessarily if we're just going to be out for just over an hour. However long it takes for him to meet somebody. Gosh. trying to think. I don't know any other guys who handle things like that. You know what I mean? But he's that man. Do you notice how the twin actually dodged? He didn't do twin defense. It actually dodged, which is controversial because twin defense effectively is dodge, but the game like separates it from actual dodge and twin defense. And the bad news is that that would have triggered the Diamond Dust, and that is especially bad news. No, it wouldn't have done fine. It's already been triggered once. It's brilliant. I was going to say that's especially bad news because now I can't control the rage because the Queen Temptress is about to be Diamond Dusted. It's probably also going to be revived in a minute. Yeah, that's really bad news. Basically, we're not going to win this one either. And I don't think we're going to win this second one, so I tried to dodge it. Dragonlance. We're not. Listen, we can go out on the loss. We're big enough to do it. So anyway, let me know if you guys are kind of guys and girls from a female perspective. Am I thinking along the right lines, or am I completely off the mark? You know what I'm saying? Generally, I know I kind of summarised quite a lot, but if you think, okay, that is what I agree with, that's what I don't agree with, then let me know. And guys out there, if you kind of see where I'm going with my kind of thought process, and you think, yeah man, you're probably right. Or in my country, it's, you know, it's easy, it's different, but you know, whatever. I heard something about in the States, people are a little bit, it's generalising, you know what I mean, but people are a little bit more kind of chat to people on the street. I'm not saying they don't in London, but I've heard a lot about that in the States. And maybe there's a different etiquette. I wouldn't mind going to Miami at some point. Not really mad keen on going to the States during hurricane season, aka like right now, but maybe in the future. But yeah, if any guys out there just thinking, you know what, this is what I think is strong game, strong, you know, chat up game, let me know. Put it in the comments, man. Let's see what's going on. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know the next time I'm going to see that dude, but I'll update you all on what's going on in our world. Yeah. Alright, so please like, subscribe. There's Steve, and I'm out.